Good evening. It's July the 14th and 10 p.m. over here. 10 p.m. A little bit late, and I'm going to do a short stream tonight because we are leaving to Disneyland tomorrow. A men's weekend, and let's start the show. Welcome back. Some music there. Go to the code window. So last week we were looking at the callback function used by Outlook, and we are going to continue looking at that. I've been reading a little bit on this in the documentation to get a better understanding on how this is working. Oh, we have a new version of Visual Studio as well. What's new? I hope it's not installing anything now. So let's quickly go over the documentation first. So the callback function that we are looking at in the JavaScript, if not in the function in the JavaScript code, and that's calling the callback function handle attachments callback on get attachment content async. So let's have a look at the documentation for get attachment content async. That's on docs.microsoft.com. There's this one. And it's not completely clear if you look at all of this. It's showing the attachment content interface. Note, by the way, that we now have, let's see if that's already there. It's not showing, but there should be now a web-only API as well. We are reading a message, so it must be either this one or the other one. I know it's this one, the second one. Get attachment content async. So what this is saying is that actually this is not returning anything. Get attachment content async. That's accepting an attachment ID in the form of a string and a callback function. Async, that's getting an async result, and it's returning void, nothing. This is what is going in. So the callback is optional. When the method completes the function passed in the callback, parameter is called with a single parameter async result, which is an Office async result object. If the call fails, the async result error property will contain an error and error code with a reason for the failure. It returns a void, so no return. If there's an error, there's an attachment type not supported error. The attachment type is not supported. Unsupported types include embedded images in rich text format or an item attachment type other than email or calendar item. Set as a contact or a task item, invalid attachment ID. In case that the ID is not does not exist. So I was looking at this code here. There's the function. I was returning something in here and also at the end, so I removed all of that just to see if we can actually get the value for the attachment. And spoiler alert, we will get the results back, but now we need to also be able to use that again. So we should return the value back to the C# caller. But let's have a look first at how this is working. Somehow I need to log in. Let's make all the windows a little bit bigger. That's the server. There we have an item, an email with an attachment, with some attachment. Let's close this. For some reason my mouse is starting to double click when I only click once. I've had it before with a Logitech mouse, but this is the Microsoft mouse doing exactly the same thing. Not sure why. So let's select the item here and click the Blazor sample add-in. And it did not return anything yet, but let's go back into the inspector there. You look at the console. So if we go in Visual Studio, let's follow the process here. We are going to the process attachment async thing too. That's called. That's this one. So we should see in the inspector like the console with all the stars thingy. Oh, where is it? Where did it go? So it starts here with index razor. That's a C# file. We look at that in here. Why is it opening the command file here? It's comparing it with the old version. That's not what I had in mind. Not to do the git changes. I want to go in here. C#. So this is where we enter the system. It's first render here, the index razor. First render. there. Going to import the JavaScript, that's this. Then it's finished with loading the client library module, preloading before Blazor. Then after started entering function, first render, here's JavaScript imported, is this one. And it hasn't been rendered the first time. Now we are going to into the get email. Calling get email, that's this one. Then going to process attachment async 2. This is get email, that's this one. Email data here. That invokes the send email data to C#. That's in the JavaScript module. This one. Starting calling process attachment async. This one. Still going the way we should see this happening. Calling index razor process email entered. This one. This is triggered by the process attachment 2 doing this, processing one attachment, processing one attachment, then it's getting the first attachment. Getting the type. Type is index razor process email. This should say something like attachment type. Processing attachment. This one. Type is file. Some attachment is the name. Getting the extension, that's txt. Then it's finished and a return. This all return null. This is just logging. So there's nothing returned from this. It says process email for the email item. Yeah, there's the item. There's no item is no returning null. Also, there are no attachments returning null. And if it's not a file type, if it's an item, then we are going to ignore it. File attachment, the extension, file extension, console log. And if the file extension not is empty, then it will return the item. Otherwise it will return null, return null. That returns the item that will be used here. If there's no item, then we are going to back out again. Let's see, the process attachment async 2 is expecting text in a return. Attachment ID is here logged, process async. That's this one. So what I did here is put aside a mail read object for promise. I don't think the name is right here. But at least let's have a look at it. So it's getting the attachment ID, that's in here. Then it says mail read for promise returned undefined. And where is that? Here. It should wait for that in here. Get attachment content async, that's a returning a void. According to the documentation, that is. Get attachment content async, get attachment content async, that's this one. And it's returning a void. Even the callback is void. Oopsie, don't do that. That's an async result. Copy. Yeah, we're not in TypeScript. Let's copy this one. Copy. Put that in here for reference. Now this is not for the read option. return the content. So a lot of these things are unanswered. Let's go in here and have a look at this one. We did this. We have the attachment base data set there. So we should be able to see that in the logging there, here. This is what's in the content. And if you copy that and you go to Google base 64 decode. If you paste it in there, decode it, that's actually the content of the email. Your digest email now comes with Microsoft Viva. Have a look at the email itself. That's basically this. Ends with monthly format. Same here. So now we need to find a way to bring that back to the task pane in here. This one, the index mail red object for promise, that's not waiting for something. That's maybe because it's not waiting for some result there. This is an issue. I think this is the documentation. Is that a snippet? Callback results. This is basically the function that's called. And we should go in there. Even this is not returning a thing. UI path, that's interesting. That's the UI path command. So what's he doing here? Is this actually working? Copyright Microsoft, this is by Microsoft. No. Already, that's activating the Office JavaScript thing. Let's see, we have, this is the action. This is the callback. In this case, it's an async. Display message, get processed by name. That's a local invoices folder. Robot process for discounting the processes. Lowercase, if it starts with lowercase, then it's finding it. Get processed by name. So let's mimic this. So in our case, it's doing something like send emailed data to C#. And that's running this. So let's take all of this out. Process email, that's a challenge. So process email, that's this one. Process email. Starting, this is doing nothing else than collecting the email item, returning the item. And if it's failing, it's returning null, but this is the information. Checking if there is an item, then counting the attachments. If there are 0 attachments, if there are 0 attachments, then return. This should go there. Now assume only 1 attachment for now. Yeah, well, basically this is this old part. Let's bring this all into let's make it a little bit easier. Now let's keep it in because it's doing it here as well. And we have a list of attachments. So we start with the item, then we are going to count the attachments. There we have a list of attachments. So our list of attachments. Let's do nothing yet. We don't need the options. Since the only one used, it's not used. It's not what we need. Attachments, item attachments. Item attachments. It is doing something, this downloading it. I'm not sure if it's actually downloading it. So let's get rid of this. If there's more than one attachment, For each attachment, it's running an async function. Async function attachment. The attachment that's terminated there. Each attachment is going in. Let's say console log there it goes into attachment type. If attachment type is an item type, then it will not return, but it will continue. Executes a function on every element. However, since for each is a function rather than a loop, JavaScript errors out if you try to use continue. Now, we recommend using for loops. Unless you have a good reason not to. what they are saying here is don't do it like this. Make that 4. Item will be skipped, else that can go then. I don't think the terminating thing should be there. Should it? Only if it's part of this one. See, there's no thingy in the end there. Where's my... There, so this should be good. See attachment type. That's already done. File name. then going for the file extension. Now, if there is a file extension, then we should not return the item, but we should do something. That's that, return. This is doing the get attachment async thingy there. So take this out and move that in here. Let's leave it in for readability now. Well, let's take it all out there. Let's see if we can do that. test if we can at least get some information now on the attachments. Make sure that we keep the link there. Oh. Let's run this. That's true, because there's no item. There should be one in here. That's also not right. First attachment is not defined, that's true, because that's no longer there. Let's look for that. That should be attachment. fix that for the non-hosted item. But let's first have a look at this one, if it's working or not. No error anymore. Let's inspect that. Console. That's already much cleaner. The index JavaScript is imported. Now we are running the calling it email data. Oh, that's because of the C# item, I think, calling there. Calling it email data. Let's make it a little bit cleaner there. Save that. Oh. Rebuild and apply changes. Delete. This one. Inspect. Calling get email data, returning get email data. We found one attachment, some attachment txt file and type txt. This is already back in the C# entry, but we did not get anything back yet. So that's good. Now let's continue and handle each of these items. Let's also quickly go into GitHub. Here, GitHub. to my repository. Office add-in samples for the word sample. Samples, Blazor add-in, Word Blazor add-in, add-in. There's a sample there showing paragraphs, interactive paragraphs. There. There's a function paragraph count. And that's returning something. The paragraph count, I think that's called by the C# file. This one. There it is. So we have a return value here. I think we also have that in here. Like string empty. Copy. So we should check on the result value here. Empty. If that's the case, then we are going to await get email data and do state has changed. But the return value is set by this is the pages file thingy. Let's do count paragraphs in here. And let's getting a return value. From get email data. So let's go back to email data then. So this should always return something. For now it will be just single quotes, empty string I should say. Continue. No, that's not right. Get email. Get email data. That's basically get email subject. So we are going, if we don't have an item, then we are going to return no subject, no title. Otherwise, if we have more than one attachment, we are going to do something with it. Where's the for each? There's the for each. That should go into continue. If that's complete, and we should add a list of attachments. If it's failing, it should also go. List of attachments. That's not used either. That's an option. Let's just try it. Using this somewhere. Ooh, there's an error. Unhandled exception, something. Let's read, what do we have here? JavaScript, Outlook Blazor was in line, inner exception. Return value is not right. Question is, what is the return value? Breaking. Control plus. No, that's only sizing it. Item is an item, that's a list. Some items in there. Some attachments. That should be good. Let's go all the way down back to C#, I think. But I think the return value is not right. Let's have a look here. Because it's returning this to get email data. That's a problem. It should give a return value back. If you go into somewhere here, it should return like this. Evoke async return value. Go back in here. This should return something like this. Value. Where do we have more return values? Here. Something like this. When I'm finished with this, I'm actually a JavaScript or specialist, even though I try to avoid this by running this in Blazor. Let's stop this. Try it again. Cannot read properties of undefined reading item. Yeah, that's true. Because it's not in the host. Yes, we have some value. At least we have something there. Now let's see why it's bringing that into the page here. Because I put value in there. Well, okay, I think we got some good results here. Actually return some information. It's not the right information yet because I also want to get the subject and the name and things like that, but at least we get some information back from the JavaScript end. And I really need to wrap up now because I have to leave early tomorrow. So let's go back to the main window here. And let's wrap this up. We had some good progress there. And next week, Tuesday, will be back if I survive the Adventure Campus in Disneyland Paris. And but I probably will. So Tuesday will be the next live stream going over Blazor web development again, where we uploaded the files, and now we are going to rendering the files into the output of the gear page. Let me quickly show that. Oh, I need to go back to the show code window then. .soft as in software. We are now able to upload images for the gear page, like these images. And now I need to render them back into the page, the ones that we got uploaded for the web page. So that will be target for upcoming Tuesday. And yeah, let's wrap it up for now. Go back to the main window again. Thanks everyone. Hope to see you next week again. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe or follow or whatever, depending on if you're on Twitch or on YouTube. And I hope to see you next week again. Bye bye.